Good day, all of you. Today, we are going to see a quick insight into the speaking module of the IELTS exam. Speaking module is the same for both academic and general candidates. There is no difference when it comes to the question pattern, time duration, and all that. Please remember, out of the 4 modules in the IELTS exam, speaking, writing, reading, listening, 2 modules will be the same for both general and academic. Listening and speaking will be the same. The modules that will differ for both of you will be writing and reading. Okay, so let's begin with another video. Here I am going to give you a quick insight into the speaking module. Let's begin. As you can see here, speaking module is 11 to 14 minute round, and there is no fixed time for the speaking test. That completely depends on the examiners. Your examiner will decide whether they have to take a test which lasts for more than 14 minutes or less than 11 minutes. But on an average, it will be a 12-minute round. You have 3 sections. And as you can see here, the nature of the 3 sections are given below. Section 1 will be more like a self-introduction round. And you'll have to talk about basic topics. Maybe the examiner will ask you some basic questions about your work life, your accommodation, your place of work, or your hobbies and other things like that. After that, they will take you to part 2, where you will be given a topic and you will have to speak on the topic at length for at least 2 minutes. Post that, again, it goes back to a question answer round, where they will be asking you certain generic questions on various topics or topics related to part 2, and you have to give a brief answer. So this will be the nature of the speaking test. Now let's go and see an insight into the entire 12 or 15 minute round of your speaking test. Let's go to the next slide. Now we'll give a quick insight into the speaking test. On the day of your speaking exam, these are the things you have to take, all of you. You will have to take your original passport. To be on the safer side, take 2 colored photocopies of your original passport, front and back. All of you will receive an email from IDP or British Council intimating you about the date and venue of your exam. It's better if you have a copy of that email. Take a printout and go as well. And speaking will be an audio recorded test. Just get to know this before you go to your exam hall, which means the entire conversation between you and the examiner will be recorded. Okay, now let's go to the next slide. In the next slide, you have 4 band descriptors the examiners will use to give you a score out of 9 bands. So as you speak, the examiners will be checking for your fluency and coherence, which constitutes 25% of your marks, followed by lexical resource, 25% of your marks, grammatical range and accuracy, 25% of your marks, and pronunciation. Fluency is the pauses you are taking while speaking, and if you're not taking too many pauses, you don't have to worry. Natural pauses are allowed though, it's not an issue. Coherence will be the ideas you generate and how you are interconnecting those ideas with signpost words throughout your test. Lexical resource is vocabulary. How well you are able to use your vocabularies when you speak on topics related to part 1, 2, and 3. Grammatical range will be the range of sentences you are able to use adding different conjunctions. You may use a simple sentence, you may use a compound sentence, sometimes you may use a complex sentence. Now all these together gives you the scores under grammatical range and accuracy. Accuracy means all the grammar mistakes you make while speaking. Usually while speaking, we might end up making grammar mistakes when it comes to tenses, prepositions, usage of articles. Try not to do that and you will score well under grammatical range and accuracy. The last one, pronunciation, about how clear you sound, the clarity of your speech, all that comes under pronunciation. Also, it's good to be expressive and not speak in a very monotonous tone. Let's go to the next slide. Here I have given you a quick description of the 4 band descriptors, what exactly you should be doing in the exam. Under fluency, basically it is about your rate of speech and whether you're able to continuously speak without stopping too much. And under coherence, how well you are able to organize your ideas and connect your ideas while using words like next, secondly, because, in order to, words like this. Lexical resource boils down to your vocabulary usage. If you're able to use a wide range of vocabulary, that works. Grammatical range, the length of your sentences, and wide range of language structures, followed by accuracy, which is calculated based on the number of grammar errors you make. And the last one, pronunciation, how understandable your speech is to the examiner. There's this point, MTI, called mother tongue influence, I have written in the last. Mother tongue influence should be avoided. For example, instead of saying school, maybe some of you might have the habit of saying is school, and that is exactly what is a mother tongue influence. Try to avoid it during the IELTS speaking test. Let's move on to the next slide. This is the nature of part 1. In part 1, you will do a self-introduction followed by the passport verification round. The examiner will do that, and then you will start doing your part 1. It will basically be 3 to 4 topics, maybe 5 questions under each topic, and you'll have to give 2 to 3 line answers or 2 idea answers. Okay, maybe the first 5 questions can be about your hometown, and the next 5 questions can be about the weather in your city, and you have to give 2 to 3 line answers. Never answer in 1 line or 1 word. Try to give a lengthy answer for part 1. And these are the other points: having an eye contact, greeting the examiner before and after your test, sit in a comfortable position. And that's about it for section 1. In the section 2, as all of you can see, it's called a cue card topic. Sometimes an examiner will give you a question printed on an A4 sheet. Sometimes they just give you the diary book. So cue card topic is a 2-minute round, and you have 1 minute time to prepare on the 2-minute round. So totally it's a 3-minute round. As you can see here, a question is given to you. Talk about your favorite website. And below that question, you have 4 bullet points. And the examiner will clearly tell you, you have 1 minute time to prepare on these topics. And what you should be doing is quickly prepare short bullet points under each cue and be ready. And exactly after 1 minute, you will have to start preparing and speak for 2 minutes. Now let's move on to part 3, which is the final 4 or 5 minute round in your exam. Part 3 will be a general discussion. It will again be a question answer round, unlike part 2. In part 2, in the previous round, you are given a topic and you have to speak for 2 minutes. And before you speak, you are given 1 minute time to prepare. When you are speaking, the examiner is just observing you, and it is not a question answer round. But part 3, the next round, is a question answer round. The examiners will ask you questions like this, how it is given here. And you have to give a brief answer. Don't give a very short answer. Give a nice 3 idea answer with an example if possible. And that will definitely work for part 3. During part 3 or during even any of the parts, the examiner might interrupt you and keep asking you some questions. And you keep playing along, go with the flow. If the examiner interrupts you between your answer, stop there and answer the next question. And if you'll observe, mostly, that is 9 out of 10 times, part 3 will be a follow-up of part 2. For example, in the previous slide, if you all have seen, part 2, the topic was about talk about your favorite website. 9 out of 10 times, part 3 will be follow-up of these questions. Now, in part 2, you got a question on website. Part 3, the questions are on safety protocols for children, for internet, on internet usage, about children starting to use internet at a young age, pros and cons of that, and questions related to cybercrime, internet. So these kind of questions will come in part 3. Very rarely, the topics and the questions will be different in part 2 and part 3. Maybe in part 2, you're getting a 2-minute round on talk about your favorite gadget. And in part 3, maybe you're asked questions on climate change or environmental catastrophes. So that's the pattern of the IELTS speaking test. Let's move on to the next slide. Yes, we have come to the end of the video here. Like I told you, the purpose of this video is to give you a quick insight into the IELTS speaking test. And please remember, speaking and listening are the same for both academic and general. Only writing and reading will differ for both of you. Academic candidates, it's enough if you score 6.5 or in and around that area, whereas general you have to score a higher band in order to get through your PR process. We'll meet in the next video. Until then, I'm your tutor Sam from Prep Master YouTube channel. Let's meet again. Signing off. Have a good day.